Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal are signing a new number 9 in Victor Gyökeres. And the big question is, how do Arsenal set up with this new monster that Mikel Arteta is getting? How do Arsenal use the machine that is Victor Gyökeres next season to either win the Premier League, the Champions League, or both of them? In this video, I'm going to be diving into how Victor Gyökeres fits into Arsenal, how Victor Gyökeres will transform Arsenal just by adding him to the team. And of course, one of the things that people are saying right now is Gyökeres doesn't fit into Arsenal. Arsenal play at a slow tempo. Arsenal are a possession-based team, and Gyökeres won't get enough time to run. Is this true? Is it true that Gyökeres won't be a good fit for Arsenal? In my opinion, that is absolutely bullshit. Because this is a player that has got the ability to transform Arsenal. The way we attack, the way we defend, and the way we create chances, all of them will be impacted by the arrival of Victor Gyökeres. Hit the like button for me, subscribe to the channel as well. Let's dive into how Victor Gyökeres, the man from Sweden, the man from Sporting CP, is going to become one of the unstoppable players at Arsenal just by working under Mikel Arteta. Now, the first thing we've got to talk about is how Arsenal have been setting up last campaign. And to be honest, I think many people who actually think about Gyökeres and Arsenal are thinking about last campaign. But the one thing we know about Mikel Arteta is he always changes his tactics. He always changes the way he approaches games every single campaign. Last season, it was about headers. It was about, set pieces. And all of us were asking the same question. Why are Arsenal doing this? I mean, that was Mikel Arteta trying to exploit that avenue. It didn't work. And I don't think Mikel, as a brilliant young manager, is actually going to sit there, see something not working, and then just saying, I am going to stick with it. I think Mikel is going to adapt his tactics this summer, and by the time we begin the season, it's going to be a very, very different Arsenal. So with Victor Gyökeres in the team, this is how likely Arsenal are going to set up next season. Of course, we will consider only players that are at the team. We shall not consider the new possible rumors. So David Raya obviously will be in goal. There's no question about that. William Saliba at centre back, alongside Gabi, who are, obviously Gabi is back. We are being told that by the time the season starts, Gabi should be all right. Alongside them at right back should be Julian Timber or Ben White, but I think it will be Julian Timber. And then Lewis Kelly, who has just signed a new deal, will be in that left back position. Martin Zubimendi comes into the midfield as the main midfielder defensively. Martin Odegaard obviously occupying that right hand side in the pockets, and Declan Rice will be opposite Martin Odegaard in midfield. And then Gabriel Martinelli, if nothing changes, will start as the left winger, Bukayo Saka as the right winger, and of course Victor Gyökeres as the new number 9. So when you look at that lineup, it is actually very close and very, very similar to what Arsenal were lining up with. That was last season, because you remove Zubimendi and you remove and you add Partey, and you remove Gyökeres and you add Kai Havertz, and the lineup that we had last season is actually back. But the difference this time is that we are adding, I think, prolific players in those two different positions, especially up top. Right, Kai Havertz is a good player, and he's got his very, very good side. When Kai Havertz is doing Kai Havertz things, you love him. Like, put that ball in the air, is very good at heading it. Put that ball, in midfield, is very good at hold-up play, and is very good at link-up play. But in terms of occupying the space in behind, in terms of transitions, in terms of counter-attacks, in terms of attacking the space in the penalty area, in terms of giving defenders a very, very uncomfortable run for their money, that is not Kai Havertz. That is actually the weakness of Kai Havertz. And Gyökeres thrives on that. So that's the first thing that you've got to talk about. The way Arsenal are going to set up with Gyökeres. Now, Gyökeres is not a very versatile striker, the way you would consider Alexander Isak, Hugo Ekitike, or perhaps even your Benjamin Sesko of this world. So with Gyökeres, he's always your target man. Now, you can play him in a 4-3-3 system where he has a lot of work to do in terms of dropping back and linking up play, or you can play him as a lone striker as well. And there are games where Arsenal have needed a lone striker. That PSG game home and away, PSG were like rampant. They were rampant against us, and we needed a lone striker to just exploit their high line, and we couldn't do that. We couldn't get that. So that's one of the things that Arsenal can get. That guy that can play as as a solo striker. We had it with Olivier Giroud many years ago. We had it with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, although he didn't do it very well for me. And we had it with Alexander Lacazette as well at times. So we are literally bringing back the old number 9 at Arsenal. So you're not going to see Arsenal tweak their lineup so much differently. You're not going to see Arsenal do a lot of Gyökeres on the left, Gyökeres on the right. That is not going to happen. But how does it transform this Arsenal team, and why is it going to be such a very, very important and deadly asset to Arsenal? Let's start off with one thing that Arsenal really don't do very well, and that is creating chances for a player or for a number 9. And this for me is why Gyökeres is such a good signing, and why Gyökeres is such a very important addition to this Arsenal team. So let's consider this, right? Let's consider this. This is how Arsenal is setting up, right? And let's say Rice is pushing up, Odegaard is pushing up, and Zubimendi is pushing up as well, right? And Arsenal are having the ball in this zone, because this is where Arsenal really always have the ball, in that zone. We are always passing it to Saka. It goes into Saka around there, and then it comes back. It goes into Kai Havertz. It comes back. It goes into Martinelli. It comes back, right? So what Arsenal lack really is penetration, and for that penetration to happen, you need a player that can force penetration, right? And Gyökeres provides that, and that's one of the things that Arsenal are going to get by signing him, right? So look at this. How many creative players are on the ball right here, or are in this zone? Let's add Miles Lewis-Skelly, because he's creative as well. And we'll add Julian Timber. He can pick a pass as well, right? You're having, apart from Victor Gyökeres around here, right? So if we take off Victor Gyökeres for a moment, you are having 6-7 creative players that are just needing a run. They just need someone to make a run. They just need someone to make that run in order for them to find him. And that is what Gyökeres does, because none of Merino and Kai Havertz are actually going to give you that. So with Victor Gyökeres, he's got the ability to just make these forward runs. Let me just pick up some arrows here. Right. So he's got the ability to make these forward runs, these ones, right? The forward runs that attract passes from Odegaard, the forward runs that attract passes from Rice, the forward runs that are going to attract middle passes from Martin Zubimendi. That is the first thing Arsenal are going to get with this guy. And whoever is telling you that, this is a bad signing, they just don't know what they're talking about. They just don't know what Gyökeres is going to unlock at Arsenal. Because we as Arsenal fans know this team is bland. But then you've got to ask yourself a simple question. How comes Arsenal are bland with Odegaard, with Declan Rice, with Thomas Partey, with Jorginho? How come this team is bland with Saka and Martinelli? It is because there is no one that is giving them options to pass to in the final third. Most of our players are afraid of being in the final third. They want it safe. They want to be dropping deeper, collecting the ball, and then recycling it. We want a player that is going to run off the shoulders of defenders. That is Victor Gyökeres. He's going to be running towards goal rather than running with his back facing goal. So that's the first thing Arsenal will be getting. And you're going to see this. Mark this. You're going to see this. Arsenal's creativity across the shop, across the board, is going to go up a level. It's going to increase massively. Like, really, really massively. That is the first thing Arsenal will be getting. Then the second thing, and the second way that this guy is going to improve this Arsenal team, and massively, in my opinion, is you're just going to have more goals. And that has been Arsenal's problem last season. I think our goal scoring ability dropped by. I think our goal scoring ability dropped by, was it like 29%, right? 29 or 19%, right? Our goal scoring ability. And what actually happened, right? What actually happened and why Arsenal's goal scoring ability actually dropped was this. We were creating chances, but we were creating chances for players that weren't taking those chances, okay? And players weren't clinical enough. And this is why adding Gyökeres to the picture like changes the game. It changes Arsenal's, it just changes Arsenal's game. Because one, you're having a guy that is deadly, a killer in this zone. In this zone, Gyökeres is a deadly player. He's gonna strike it outside the penalty area. He's gonna strike it from the inside the penalty area. He can finesse. He can use power. He can score any type of goal at any moment. Right? That is the beauty of Victor Gyökeres. You can see it on your screen. He's so calm. He's so composed in the penalty area, and he knows where the goal is. As simple as that. Like some solutions don't need very complicated, some problems don't need very complicated solutions because some problems are not very complicated. Like if Arsenal had one of the best finishers in the world, let's say Alexander Isak, and we had one of the most creative players in the world, let's say you have Odegaard and Eze, and we weren't scoring goals enough, we would be asking the question, what is wrong, right? We have one of the best finishers in the world, and we have a very good creative force. But Arsenal don't have a creative force, and Arsenal do not have, a brilliant finisher. So what do? You go and get a brilliant finisher. And one of the things that Arsenal will benefit from Gyökeres is simply a guy that's gonna get the ball in the penalty area and knows what to do. A guy that's gonna get the ball in this zone, and he knows what to do. And teams, trust me, are going to really be suffocated, and they will suffer with Gyökeres because they're not used to an Arsenal team that has got a good finisher. They're not used to an Arsenal team that has got a clinical finisher. And then the other thing that Arsenal can actually have, or actually Arsenal are gonna get, is the variety of goals that we can score and the ability to break defenses. So I think someone said that if you are not Arsenal, like if you're Arsenal's opponent, you're not going to be afraid of the forward line options that Arsenal have. That is Kai Havertz, Mikel Merino. You're not going to be afraid. But this guy is a bully, and he's going to break defenders, and it's going to drag defenders out of position. And that is going to allow, I hope, let me tell you something, right? I think Mikel Arteta is going to play Kai Havertz more next season. Like, even with Eze, even with Rodrigo, even with all these other guys being rumored, I think Kai Havertz is going to play more. If he doesn't play more, Rice is going to score more than 10 goals next season. 10. Rice will score 15 next season. And that is because of this guy's ability to drag players out of position, right? He will break defenders. He will drag them out of position. And by the way, I like his penalty technique. He's very, very good. He's got a very, very good penalty technique. He goes for power, and he knows where he wants to place that ball absolutely. So, I mean, there is also the pressing. I think our press can get better because you have a center forward that is very, very good at pressing. So our press will get better as well. So for me, generally, if you ask me, does it fit in? I think it does. Now, the people who feel Gyökeres maybe is a risk is because they think that Mikel is going to play the same way from last campaign. And it's possible, but I don't think it doesn't make any sense for a manager like Mikel, who's so talented and very young, to keep tactics that are not working. Okay, it's okay. Let's have possession, but let's loosen up a little bit. Let's allow players to have that freedom. Let's allow players to have that, autonomy and creativity. It's going to help the team a lot. So for me, watch out for Gyökeres. He's going to be a big threat in front of goal at Arsenal come next season. Honestly, I'm excited about his signing. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Speak to you soon.